Today we're going to talk about tones or codes. So let's get into it. Codes act as a sort of privacy to your radio transmission. It is important to remember though that these privacy codes aren't encrypted. It doesn't mean no one can hear your transmission, but it works to avoid interference with other radio transmissions, whether it be from someone else or another channel. But before we begin, some definitions. Squelch, the process of cutting off a transmission. This doesn't just mean that it's cutting off when you're talking, but also the constant static that would come through if a radio was receiving signals constantly and no one was transmitting, so all you're hearing is static. It acts like a gate. If it's open all the time, anyone and anything can come in. But if it's closed all the time, with an opening only for people to enter, then you get only what you want. TPL, DPL, and CSQ. TPL stands for Tone Private Line, DPL stands for Digital Private Line, and CSQ stands for Carrier Squelch. TPL and DPL are terms used by Motorola. So if you're using a different brand of radio, these words will be CTCSS and DCS, but they operate the same functionally. TPL codes are codes or tones that are sent with your transmission to allow for that transmission to be received. TPL codes are characterized by a number with a decimal like 67.0 or 79.9. This is because they are actual sub-audible frequencies that are sent along with your transmission. The radio will listen for these tones and allow transmission based on two things. The radio must be on the same frequency and it needs to hear this tone. TPL codes are an analog way of offering these privacy codes. So if TPL is analog, what is DPL? Well, DPL is the digital variant. Rather than send along a frequency, the radio will send an infinitesimal amount of data and the radio will decipher that digital data. These are characterized by being whole numbers. So if you're programming your radio, that's how you differentiate the two. For the end user, the TPL codes and DPL codes don't have any discernible difference. So it all comes down to preference. It is important to note that analog radios can also use DPL codes because it has to do with the function that the radio is doing rather than the transmission. So you can use DPL codes and TPL codes on any radio. CSQ or Carrier Squelch is essentially an open channel. It does not require a tone to be heard, so anybody on the frequency can hear what is being transmitted. And again, it's important to note, TPL and DPL codes aren't encryption. It just limits interference. So if anybody's on the same frequency with the same code, your radio will pick up what they are saying and vice versa. So make sure that you are not really discussing sensitive information over radios. If you'd like to learn more about TPL and DPL codes and how they affect your radios, call our account managers today and make sure to visit us at twrg.com. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time.